Today's topic is higher functions of brain. Higher functions of brain include language, speech, learning, memory, and higher intellectual function of prefrontal association cortex. First, language and speech. A definition of language. It refers to that faculty of nervous system which enables the humans to understand the spoken and printed words and to express ideas in the form of speech and writing. What is speech? It is a symbol through which human beings communicate each other. So there are two aspects of communication. Language input, it is known as a sensory aspect, and language output, it is also known as a motor aspect. So language input, sensory aspect, includes visual, auditory, and proprioceptive impulses. And motor aspect includes mechanism concerned with expression of spoken language, means sound, and written language. Component of sound based language. So there are various terminology for the language like phononyms. They are fundamental sound in a language. Morphemes, a combination of phonemes are the smallest meaningful units of the word. Words are made up of syllables which include consonant and vowels. Lexicon, they are collection of all words in given language. Syntax, it refers to linking together of different words by use of verbs and appropriate choice of verb tenses. Semantic, it refers to understanding the meaning of lexicon and syntaxes. Discourse, it refers to linking together of sentence in such a way that they constitute a meaningful narrative. And progody, it refers to rise and fall of pitch of the voice in speaking that can modify the literal meaning of words and sentences. Now, Wernicke's theory of language. According to this theory, utterance arises in Wernicke's area. Okay, area number 22 according to Brodmann. So it is passed on Broca's area, area number 44, via arcuate fasciculus. Okay. So this is Wernicke's area. Okay, and it passed through angulus gyrus, okay, to the Broca's area. Okay. After sentence is formulated in Broca's area, it is transferred to the motor cortex where articulation is programmed by activation of appropriate muscle in mouth and face, etc. Okay. So language comprehension, or we can say utterance or word means word arises, okay, in Wernicke's area, area number 22, and then through arcuate fasciculus they pass to the Broca's area, okay, area number 44. Okay, it is also known as a motor speech area. Okay, now development of speech. How speech is developed? It involves coordinated activity of Wernicke's area and Broca's area as well as motor areas of dominant hemisphere. Development in children in two stages. First stage, it occurs association of certain words with visual, tactile, auditory and other sensation aroused by object in external world which is stored in memory. So this is the first stage. Second stage involves establishment of new neuronal circuits when definite meaning has been attached to certain words. Pathway between auditory area, area number 41, and motor area for the muscle articulation which helps in speech, area number 44, Broca's area, is established. Okay, so in first stage there is an association of certain words with visual, tactile, auditory and other sensation aroused by object in external world. Okay, and this information stored in the memory, in the form of memory. Okay, second stage, in second stage there is a establishment of new neuronal circuits. Okay, so here definite meaning has been attached to certain words. Okay. So pathway between auditory area, whatever we heard, okay, so it passed through this, first heard in auditory area 41, and then it passed to the motor area for the muscle of articulation, which helps in speech, means motor speech area, Broca's area number 44. So connection between these two areas is established in the second stage. Now mechanism of speech and speech centers. Two type of speech: spoken speech and written speech. Spoken speech involves both understanding of spoken words as well as expressing ideas in the form of spoken words. Written speech, it involves both understanding of written words as well as expressing ideas in form of written words. Mechanism of speech, it involves coordinated activities of central speech apparatus and peripheral speech apparatus. So what is central speech apparatus? It consists of cortical and subcortical centers, and peripheral speech apparatus includes larynx or sound box, pharynx, mouth, nasal cavities, tongue and lips. Understanding of speech. So it is a sensory aspect of communication. Understanding of spoken speech. Okay. And for that, first we require hearing of spoken words. Okay. And for hearing of spoken words, it requires intake auditory pathway, okay, from the ears to primary auditory areas. Okay. Area number 41 and 42. Second step is recognition and understanding of spoken words carried by auditory association areas, area number 20 and 21. So primary auditory areas number are 41 and 42, and auditory association areas number are 20 and 21. Then interpretation and comprehension of speech ideas. It involves activity of vernix area 22, interpretation of meaning of what is heard, comprehension of spoken language, and the formation of idea that are to be articulated in speech. Okay, so information first heard in primary auditory area, and then it comes to auditory association area, okay, and then vernix area, okay, where actual interpretation of meaning of word or whatever we heard is done, and then it is articulated in the form of speech. So there is involvement of Broca's area then. Now understanding of written speech. Perception of written words. It requires the intake visual pathway from eyes to primary visual cortex. Okay, so primary visual cortex, area number 17. Then interpretation of written speech, and for that we require visual association area 18 and 19. Recognition and identification of written words in the light of past experience. Then generation of thought and ideas in response to written speech, which is occurring Digerin area number 38, also called visual speech area. Now expression of speech, motor aspect of communication. In the form of spoken speech or written speech or both, it involves activity of motor speech center, Broca's area number 44. Expression in the form of spoken speech. Broca's area or motor speech area is a concern with movement of structures which are responsible for production of voice and articulation of speech. Expression in the form of written speech. Functions of Exner's area. Okay, it is also known as a motor writing center. Okay, it processes the information received from Broca's area into detailed and coordinated pattern, and then along with motor cortex area number 4, it initiates appropriate muscle movement of the hand and fingers to produce written speech. So there is an involvement of motor cortex also. Okay, area number 4. So this is the neural pathway in brain involved in understanding the expression of written speech. Okay, so it starts from this lateral geniculate body. Okay, then it involves primary visual cortex area number 17. Okay, then higher order visual cortical areas area number 18, then pass through angular gyrus area 39, then it comes to Wernicke's area number 22. Okay, so whatever we read, this information pass through primary visual cortex. Okay, because primary visual cortex is responsible for vision. Okay, then visual cortical areas area 18, and then angular gyrus, and then Wernicke's area, and here there is an interpretation occurs, and after it goes to area number 44 Broca's area, and then area 4 facial area of motor cortex. Okay, area 4, and in area 4 it also initiates the appropriate muscle movement of hand and fingers to produce written speech. Okay, so this is the pathway for written speech. Now concept of dominant hemisphere for language. Dominant hemisphere means in cerebral cortex, interpretive function of Wernicke's area, the angular gyrus, frontal motor speech areas are more highly developed in one hemisphere called dominant hemisphere. Okay, so reason for dominance of one hemisphere is not known, but some important observation are there. In approximately 95% of all individual, the left hemisphere is dominant regardless of handedness. Right hemisphere dominance is seen in only 15% of left-handers, and 70% of left-handers also have left hemisphere dominance. Now concept of categorical and representational hemisphere. Presently the terms dominant and non-dominant have been replaced by categorical and representational hemisphere respectively. Okay, so dominant hemisphere is known as a categorical and non-dominant hemisphere known as a representational hemisphere. So now functions allotted to the left hemisphere in right-handed person and functions allotted to right hemisphere in right-handed person. So in right-handed person, their functions are right hand control, spoken language, written language, mathematical skill, scientific skill, and reasoning. Okay, so this function allotted to left hemisphere, but person is right-handed. Okay, here function allotted to right hemisphere in right-handed person are left hand control, music awareness, three-dimensional awareness, art awareness, insight, and imagination. Okay, now speech disorders, dysarthria and aphasia. Aphasia are of three types: sensory, motor, and global. So what is dysarthria? Articulation of word is impaired in this condition, but the comprehension of spoken and written speech is not affected. Causes due to paresis or incoordination of the muscle involved in production of speech. It is seen in lesion of pyramidal tract, cranial nerve, and cerebellum and basal ganglia. Okay, so it lesion of all this structure leads to dysarthria. Okay, so here articulation of word is impaired, but comprehension or meaning of spoken and written speech is not affected. Aphasia, it refers to inability to understand spoken or written speech or inability in expressing the spoken or written speech in the absence of mental confusion or motor deficit. So, depending upon the site of lesion, aphasia may be three types: sensory, motor, and global. Okay, so here inability to understand spoken or written speech, okay, or inability to expressing the spoken or written speech in the absence of mental confusion or motor deficit. Sensory aphasia, site of lesion is Wernicke's area number 22. Okay, it is also known as a receptive aphasia or Wernicke's aphasia. Characteristic features are difficulty in understanding the meaning of speech. Motor speech is intact, patient talk very fluently, and that's why it is called fluent aphasia. Okay, but here comprehension of language or interpretation of word does not occur because of lesion of this area. Now, speech is often associated with anomia, means inability to find appropriate word to express a thought. Neologism, using or creating new words or new meaning for established words. Paraphasias, production of unintended words or phrases during effort to speak. So these are the characteristic features in Wernicke's aphasia. Now, there is also impairment of reading and writing. Patient cannot comprehend the written word, and that's what is called word blindness. Person is unable to read loud or copy print into writing. Motor aphasia, lesion of Broca's area. Okay, so area number 44, motor speech area. Characteristic features: comprehension of written or spoken speech is good, but difficulty in speaking. Person is able to formulate verbal language in his mind, but cannot vocalize the response. The defect is not in the control of musculature needed for speech, but rather in elaboration of complex pattern of neural and muscle activation. Okay, it is because of lesion in motor speech area number 44. Now, in this condition, speech is non-fluent. Patient utters only a few words with great difficulty. It is also known as a non-fluent aphasia or expressive aphasia. And in this condition, there is an inability to write, agraphia. It is known as a agraphia. Now, global aphasia, it refers to total inability to use language communication. Site of lesion, loss of both Wernicke's area as well as Broca's area number 22 and 44. Common cause, thrombosis or embolism of blood vessel in dominant hemisphere leads to this condition. Okay, thank you.